All right, Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahweh Shai, Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahweh Shai. Call Allah Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Harakakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Those in the gospel, brother, understanding behind Bashim Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is real quick. This is just a Shabbat service lesson. For those of you newcomers out there that may not be familiar with the Passover on how to observe it. All right, I'm just going to go through the list here that we've created. Brothers in various camps, we go by this, the correct services as to setting up the prayers, the blessing the Shabbat, and this is the service that you brothers are in to know will keep. Okay, now, not saying that you newcomers out there, I like to say if you new and you're not familiar about the Passover, then, you know, if you don't feel it's in your spirit, the scriptures say don't eat of the Lord's Supper unworthily. So you got to be very careful when you take of the Passover. You're going to be held to that standard, to that oath of Yahweh's blood. So those of you newcomers out there, man, that may not be attached to any camps, man, what I would recommend you do, you can look at this video, you know, get you some lamb, get you some bitter herb. Okay, you got what they call horseradish. You could get the bark, which is the actual wood itself. You can find it at natural grocers. You can find it at Whole Foods. Or any type of health food store. You can find it. It's probably like $1.50. It's not very expensive at all. Or you can go and get you some of that real horseradish that comes in a jar. Okay, because it's pretty bitter as well. You know, for you first time comers out there, what you would do, you get you some horseradish, get you some unleavened bread. Okay, it could be mitzvos. Or if you know how to make the unleavened bread, you can go to Walmart and you can get like a little bread maker. You take the little flour not the flour, salakia. But you take the bread and you can paste it down on the machine, and it comes out flat. Leavened bread is basically bread without yeast, because yeast is what causes the bread to rise. All right. So with that being said, well, you can get something which is called mitzvos, which is what those Israelis use, you know, during the time of the Pesach. It has no leavening agent in it, or corn tortillas or whatever. It has no lead in it. I mean, what do you call it? Leaven. Okay, anything with leaven causes bread to rise. So what you can do, you can Google unleavened bread, and it give you an idea on what to look for you newcomers out there. All right, get you some lamb. It could be a couple of things of lamb chops, bitter herb. Get you some red wine, etc. Then you got the unleavened bread, and you eat it in haste. But we're gonna go over the scriptures too. But I really want to kind of, matter of fact, I'm gonna just go over the scriptures first, and now we just gonna go into the scriptures. To the prayers. So anyway, this is the book of Exodus 12:1. It says, "And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month should be unto you the beginning of months, and it should be the first month of the year to you, which everything grows." It's the first month of the year. Everything life springs forth. Okay, contrary to popular opinion, Esau teaches that the Lord was born in the dead of winter. That's not true, because you have to understand Esau is conducive to life. He's not conducive to life. He's anti-life. All right, and I'm going to be uploading this to the regular Kansas City site, because my GMS KC Prophets bot has a strike on it. I did a video titled "The Agenda or Your Job," and I didn't even say anything that was fucked up, but somehow Esau got whiff of it, and he flagged the video based on an RT News article, which in fact, RT, they have their own YouTube page saying the same shit. But when I did a lesson on it, these demons get offended. But that's okay. Fuck y'all, man. Keep flagging the videos. You just getting cut more. Because at the end of the day, you're going to have to deal with the reality regardless on how many videos you flag. Okay? But anyway, it says it should be the first month of the year to you. So speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month, they should take to them every man a lamb according to the house of their fathers. All right, a lamb for a house. So this is going over the ceremony. This is breaking down the Passover. It says, and if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next into his house take it according to the number of the souls, and every man according to his eating should make your account for the lamb. Okay, so in this case, man, we're not sharing this with Jakes on the outside. You got a Jake neighbor outdoors or next door. You ain't got to give him your lamb. Just buy enough that's sufficient for you and your household. Me and our camp, I recommend getting the lamb chops. Like last year, we smoked the lamb. All right, but get lamb chops. They're relatively cheap. They may $4 or $5 a chop. You know, you brothers are celebrating the Passover alone. You can get 1 or 2 chops and you can eat that, you know, and be done with it. You know, don't make it more than what it is. And it says here, and your lamb should be without blemish, a male of the first year, and ye should take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and ye should keep it until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. All right, and this represents going into the Shabbat, because the Passover takes place Friday sunset. All right, and it's a week Passover. It's a weekly thing, because followed by that, you have what they call the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which you don't eat anything with any leavening agent in it for the whole week. Okay, so from this Friday at evening up until next Friday, you will not be eating anything that have leaven in it, meaning donuts, cookies, you know, certain breads, you know, cupcakes, you know, all those particular products. And also you have to look at a lot of seasonings. A lot of seasonings have leaven agent in it too. So just do the best you can do. You know, anything that says flour on back of the ingredients, you want to take out, you want to, you know, whatever, get rid of it. If you can afford it, throw it away. Like the apostles always told us, they said, well, since times are hard, what you can do is take it and put it in the back seat of your car or in the trunk of your vehicle and just let it kind of sit out there, or give the shit away, or however you want to do it. But you want to get all the leavening out of your house, because the leaven represents that uncleanliness in us, and that's spiritually symbolic as to why we getting the leaven out of our houses, because you have to understand and know that the death angel may attack. All right, and it says, and they should take the blood and strike it on the 2 side posts of the upper door and the posts of the house, wherein they should eat it. All right, so you don't have to do that. Okay, we are covered by the blood of Yahweh Shai. Lord will. Okay, so you don't have to go take no blood and put it over your doorpost. No, you don't have to do that. All right, the scriptures say, rehearse the righteous act. And it says, and they should eat the flesh in that night and roast it with fire and unleavened bread. So how you do that? You can grill it or you can put it in an oven. All right, keep it simple. It says here, with his head and his legs and the putrins thereof. All right, we ain't gonna eat a lamb with heads and legs. No, we're not gonna do that. All right, because they don't even sell it like that for real. And it says, and ye should let nothing of it remain until the morning, and that which remaineth of it until the morning ye should burn with fire. So whatever you don't eat, just throw it away. Get rid of it. You see what I'm saying? Get rid of it, throw it away, get it out your house, call it a day. And thus shall ye eat it with your loins girded and your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and ye should eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. And the biggest thing of it is, it's eating it in haste, because you got to understand this was the night we were supposed to depart out of the land of Egypt. Okay, because the death angel was said to come to smite the first, what was it? The death angel would pass over, and he was smiting the Egyptians, which that death angel is symbolically Yahweh Shai. It says, for I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both men and beasts, and against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment, for I am the Lord. Okay, so make sure you brothers, you know, you partake in this if it's in your spirit. It says here, and the blood should be to you for a token upon the houses where ye are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague should not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. So you have to think of this in a spiritual way, like the Lord can come back anytime, because you want to be covered by the blood of Yahweh Shai when he does come back. Prime example, right? Last year, right after the Passover, I want to say it was roughly a week, if I'm not mistaken. That's when the shutdown hit. You know, everything with the, you know, with the C-19, all those things came into fruition. You see? And it says, and this day should be unto you for a memorial, and ye should keep it as a feast to the Lord throughout your generations. Ye should keep it as a feast by ordinance forever. So this is the reason why we do it time after time, year after year. Actually, we hate keeping it here, but nonetheless, you know, this is a memorial, okay? And in the kingdom, we're going to have, you know, it's going to be a whole different thing, all right? Because we're going to be celebrating when we were delivered from this hellhole. Because this place is holy hell, man. You got to deal with a lot of BS that you shouldn't even have to deal with. But, you know, that's the heat of the battle. That's the conditions of the battle. But anyway, it says, in 7 days you should eat unleavened bread. Even the first day you should put away leaven out of your houses. For whosoever eateth leaven bread from the first day until the 7th day, the soul should be cut off from Israel. All right. So what I would do starting this week, actually, man, if starting tonight, tomorrow, you brothers should go through taking things out of your house that has leaven in it. That way you don't have to rush and do it and possibly forget something. And if you do forget something, it's not the end of the world. Like I said, it just to be a righteous, it just to be we're rehearsing the righteous acts, but you want to make sure you are sincerely with doing it. Okay? Because leaven, like I said, represents impurities. With leaven comes contention. Like the scripture said, little leaven leavened the whole lump. All right. But it says here, and then the first day, there should be a holy convocation, which is a Shabbat. That's why Friday evening to Saturday evening is going to be the Sabbath. And then the seventh day, there should be a holy convocation unto you. And no manner of work should be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you. Okay, so this Friday to Saturday will be a Shabbat. Every 7 days is the Sabbath. So by the time this ceremony ends next Friday evening, that's going to be the Shabbat. So it's going to be a Shabbat that brings us in and a Shabbat that carries us out. That's why it says the 7 days should be a holy convocation. Okay, the Lord is cold. All right. And it says here, and ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in the same self day I have brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. So therefore shall ye observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever. All right. And it says, and in the first month, on the 14th day of the month at evening, ye should eat unleavened bread. It says, and until the 120th day of the month at evening. All right, that's the 7 days later. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. From day 14 to day 21, that's a whole week cycle of completion. And you should eat nothing leavened, and all your habitations shall ye eat unleavened bread. Okay, so remember that. Unleavened bread. You can Google it, you can look it up, you can see what it is. But basically, it's bread that don't rise when you bake it. All right, that means that no wheat bread or, no white bread, no hamburger buns, none of those things, man. No cupcakes, no Twinkies. You know how Jake love them sweets, man. No zingers, none of that garbage. All right, so this is just how we observe the ceremony, for those of you that may have an idea on what you can do, which, like I said, man, you can just go through the steps I just mentioned and be done with it, because like I said, I know a lot of new brothers, they're not really familiar on how the Shabbat services work. So don't burden yourselves with trying to go through the whole Shabbat service if you don't understand, because you have to have the ram's horn, you have to have the candles with the menorah, etc. Okay, so it says here, Shabbat services, it says the first step, you will blow the ram, which is called the shapar. You will blow the ram 3 times, and the first priest sets up the table. Okay, you got the horn, which is the ram's, or the what they call the ram's horn. You have the wine, cups, Tanakh, and Bibles. Tanakh is basically the Hebrew equivalent Bible. Okay, it's the law, the war, or the book of the prophets and the law. Okay, it says, and the first priest blesses the lights in Hebrew. Okay, which this is the prayer here. It says here, Barakatah Yahweh, Hawa'ah, Nathan Lanawa, Awar, Lawara. It's basically how you say, bless you, the Lord, that give us lights to see. Okay, so that's how you would say that prayer in the Hebrew. All right, so the first priest going to bless the Shabbat, which is going to be Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Barak HaShabbat Hazah Ba'Shalom, which means, it says, the Lord in the name, he is salvation. And it says, and bless the Shabbat to us. Ba'Shalom means in peace. All right, so the 5th step, it says the priest lights the candles, 7 candles of menorah, which I'm actually looking at one right now. I wish I did a video footage of it. But it says here, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Barak Zamanara. It says Zamanarura, which means in the name of the Lord, he is salvation, bless this lamp. Okay, so you will blow the shapar, which is the ram's horn. You blow it once. And then in Hebrew, you will command the congregation to face the east, which is Imajim Wa Panya Hakwadam, which means rise and face the east. All right. Step 8, it says the first priest leads the congregation in the following prayers. All right, you got the curses, then you got the Shema, you got the Psalms 121, the Lord's Prayer, which is Matthew 6, chapter 9th verse down to 13th, and the 10 commandments, which is Exodus 21 through 7, and you will recite those all in the Hebrew. All right. Second priest is called to the podium. Then the youngest man blow the shapar, which is the horn. And the youngest man will say the blessings for the wine, which is Barakatah Yahweh, Ha'ara'ah, Nathan Lanawa, Pariyah, Hakapan, Tawada, Aman, which means bless in the name of the Lord that give us the fruit of the vine, so be true. Okay, which is Aman. All right. So let me see what step was that. Verses 11. I think I'm missing one page. But you brothers get the point. All right, because 17, you're gonna say that the congregation, the sit in the Hebrew, which means yashabium, which means to sit, and so forth and so on. And these are just pictures of the 10 Commandments that you brothers can pause and you can look at it, you can study it. I'm not gonna go through them all. You have the Shemai prayer, which is Hear, O Israel, Yahweh is our power, which would be Shema, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Allah, Yahweh, Yahweh, Achad. Then you have Psalms 121 here, okay, which will read Anasha, Ayayamya, Al, Haharayam, Mahayan, Yabawa. It says Yabawa'ah, Isaiah, Yabawa, Ma'ah, Yahweh, Shashah. It says Shemayam, or Shemayam, Raratazah, Ayah. It says La'ah, Yonatan, Lamawat, Ragalah, Ya Allah, Nawam, Shashamara, Hana, Ya Allah, Naram. Wa Allah, Yashan. It says Shashamara, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamraya, Yahweh, Tazaliah, Al, Yayamya, Ya'ad, Hashamash, Ya'lad, Hakaya, Bayawam, Wa Allah, Halabanah. It says Ba La. It says Ba La Yala, Yahweh, Yashamarya, Makal, Ra'ai, Yashamar, Napasha, Yahweh, Yashamar, Hawalakia, Wabawaya. It says Ma'atha, Wa'ai, Iwalam, Aman. So that's how you would say Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. And like I said, you can pause it on this and screenshot it and do what you need to do. Okay. But this is the rest of it. Yep. So anyway, verses 12, it says, after drinking of the wine, the youngest man takes the Torah around for the blessings. All right, which means call Ayashayam, Mayawam, Admajim, the water Barak. Okay, which means that you're putting you're blessing the Torah. Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna leave it there though, brothers, man. Lord's will, you will edify, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And with that, shalom. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comment board. Shalom.